talked last night about how in the third quarter the difference was focus. What do you see that leads to drops in focus sometimes for this team?
So sometimes you got to look at what the other team does too. It's not just what we're doing. Yeah, we could have done some things better, but they came out and they made a ton of shots, and we actually had some great process in our offense that led some really wide open threes. That some of them didn't go in. Sometimes the game goes that way, but what can you do when your shot's not going in or things aren't? I thought we had some good resiliency there, but it's not always just your own team. Sometimes you got to look at what the other team's doing, but we're always going to look at ourselves first.
What's the difference between finishing at the rim as a small guard versus a bigger guard?
It's obviously harder for the smaller guys. That's just a normal thing, but we work with the same stuff on all of our guys. Ability to finish. There's guys who are improving on our roster. When you first get in the NBA, it can be difficult because of the size and length, and I think there's a learning process to that. I've had some great players who didn't finish very well in their first 1 or 2 years, some Hall of Fame type players. So that's nothing abnormal.
With Bub, it seems like he's got a bit of a different role this season compared to last. Can you kind of describe how his job responsibilities have changed?
I don't think it's that much different, to be honest. He's initiating our offense, playing with pace, guarding. He's playing with a different unit right now, so that they're organizing and figuring that out. That would say to be the only difference, but it's still within the principles of how we're playing, so I don't think it's really that much different.
Where have you found the physicality for yourself? It seems like the three-point shot is a three-point shot, and it almost seems like you are making more of a concerted effort attacking, similar to kind of how we're seeing Alex play in the paint, than you are just relying on that three-point shot.
Yeah, I mean it's really really necessary. It's how I kind of like insert myself into the game. Whether it's a really tough rebound or driving to the rim and finishing at the rim, shooting free throws, get on the floor, like that stuff kind of like inserts you into the game. You ultimately feel comfortable right away when you do that. And when you play that way, maybe you get knocked to the floor, you get a really tough offensive rebound. More oftentimes than not, the next shot's going to fall because it automatically sets you into a rhythm. And I found that when I rely only on a three-point shot for the entire game, things don't really go very well. You got to be able to do multiple things and get a rhythm like that really quick.
I asked Bilal about the third quarter last night against the Knicks, and he talked about how the difference was the difference in focus for the group on the floor. What did you notice about that, and what is it that allows the focus to wane and wax?
Yeah, I mean there's a ton of different things that can allow focus to wane and wax. It's maybe it's personal issues off the court. Maybe it's friends and family you have in the stands. Maybe it's the way that you are getting subbed into the game and the rotations that you're a part of. It's making or missing shots. There's a number of different things that can kind of alter a focus level. But that's what's the beautiful part about basketball is there's so many different points throughout the game where you can stop and take a breath and refocus. There's free throws, there's out of bounds plays, there's timeouts, there's anything in between that gives you a chance to recenter and refocus. And it was a tale of two different types of game in that third quarter. I mean, the beginning part of that third quarter was really rough. Gave up a lot of points, were kind of soft. And then the back end of that third quarter was a little bit tougher, and we played harder and played tougher, played smarter, and started to cut into that lead. And we got to be better as a team of making those down stretches last shorter and refocusing quicker as a group.
You just stuck the phone in the face, so I'll ask him about Trey. What have you thought about him as a shooter yourself, what he's able to bring on that?
Yeah, I mean, his short-term memory loss is incredible for a guy his age. He's able to move on and shoot the next shot with just as much confidence. For him, it's finding a rhythm. It's finding his place in this offense and finding, when he can get shots off and feel good about his shots that he takes, in an NBA game. It's kind of right now for him, it feels like he's kind of throwing pasta to the wall and seeing what sticks. And sooner rather than later, he's going to find a really, really good rhythm that is going to allow him to be super consistent. It's far too early to judge 7 games in, but I've really liked what I've seen so far with him as far as his aggression, his confidence, and just the way his shot looks. It's easy to tell he's going to be a really good shooter for a long time.
You're someone who moves off the ball really well. Is that something you've talked to him about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially the way we play. I mean, we're constantly running. We play super fast. We play off of our bigs a ton. You have to move. And teams are, if you stand still with the shooter that good, you're not going to get any shots. This teams just put too much of an emphasis on that. So you have to be in really good shape, and you got to move around a lot in order to get them up. It's a must.
Do you notice when you're playing teams if the pace with which you guys want to play with is truly effective? there were moments in the game last night where the Knicks were gassed. And you guys were trying to take advantage of that.
Yeah. You can see that. And in college, in college we were like the fastest team in the country, and we call it like you could see the dam breaking. Like you could see the little cracks in the dam, and you could see the water kind of spurting out. And then there's this moment where like it all comes rushing out, and the team quits. And that's ultimately the goal of what we want, especially with our pace, is to wear teams down for 2.5, 3 quarters, and then when they can't go anymore, we're just getting stronger. And that's like the ideal thing that you want out of a high-paced team, which is what we're trying to go for.
How do you balance wanting that to happen without also wanting to tire yourselves out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between just running and gunning and just running up and down the floor and getting cardio in, and playing your offensive pace. When we're playing the half court, you have to cut sharp. You have to move the ball quickly. You have to make decisions fast. Like those things like that wear a team out too. I mean, they're changing the sides of the floor on defense, and they're running back and forth, and they're confused, and there's a lot of mental effort on their part too. That stuff can lead to good pace as well, rather than just how fast can you run from baseline to baseline.